Ben, last year you talked about hybrid working, a new work modality. We're now entering a reopening phase. How is that playing out for you in terms of portfolio positioning?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, we're hugely excited about what the pandemic has done for, I guess, a work modality. Certainly the last 12 months have been challenging for work from home stocks and some of those early pandemic beneficiaries as reopening has happened, as investors have started to become nervous about comparisons, how hard it will be for those companies to grow against last year's numbers, but also reopening means that there's less people in front of screens or doing less e-commerce, doing less payments. So we've got some headwinds associated with reopening in some of those work from home and earlier beneficiary groups. But our own enthusiasm about work from home as a modality hasn't changed. I mean, if you look at just how people are traveling, it's different. People aren't coming to offices on Mondays and Fridays. 3 in and 2 out looks like a very sort of standard new way of working. And in addition to that, we see things like corporate travel being genuinely impaired. Not because of reopening, because of COVID, but because actually in the last 2 years, we've found new ways to find customers, to be able to manage teams. The idea that we would jump on planes for internal meetings or go and visit every client, it just is over. And so we're hugely excited about what that means for the tech sector, because in the end, if we're not always in the office and we're not always in together, we need to find virtual ways to be together. And that, of course, really is at the heart of the technology and the centrality of technology story.
We are now hopefully entering this reopening phase. As a technology investor, can you actually participate in that?
We absolutely can. Investors may think that other areas is a sort of better way, whatever that really means. But the tech sector in the end is growing its share of GDP. It's growing its share of business spending. It's growing its share of household budgets, and of course Gen Z are digital natives to everything that the tech sector has to offer. So we absolutely will participate. There will be areas within the tech sector that fare less well. You would imagine less e-commerce, less payments related to e-commerce perhaps. Certainly some headwinds associated with reopening that just will need some time to play out. But the overall tech sector, of course, will be just fine. Areas that have exposure to global GDP, areas that have exposure to auto are just 2 examples really, like semiconductor groups and others will do just fine in a reopening scenario. And of course in the portfolio, we've got companies like TripAdvisor and Airbnb that will directly benefit, of course, from travel, where the marginal propensity to consume travel has probably never been higher.